Hey guys, Billy here. Before we start the show today, I just had to come in with a brief apology / warning. I know that's exactly what you want to hear before your podcast starts, but we recently got a new microphone, and we weren't really sure how it works or how sensitive it was. So you may be aware of little like bumping and thumping noises throughout this episode as we gesticulate and various things like that. We're apparently hand talkers. So I just want to let you know about that. And this episode was recorded pretty late, so and the AC wasn't on in the room because we were afraid that would pick up on the mic. So things did get a little loopy before the end. Hopefully it won't hurt your enjoyment too much, but I didn't want to leave you I didn't want you to be just surprised by the dip in quality if that is the case. I don't know, you may enjoy the episode just fine. Either way, happy listening. Hello friends, and welcome to Much Review About Nothing. What happens when your dad replaces you with himself? The Jaden Smith story. On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and
Luke Greer and Luke Greer.
Let's don't watch a movie.
So I remember not too long ago I said, I want a movie, jokingly, that just contains all Will Smith. Will Smith is everyone. And then later you come in and say, oh, hey, let's do Gemini Man. And I say, what's that? You said, oh, it's Will Smith, but he's fighting himself. And I said, so that thing I just said. Yeah. So it was a great coincidence that I said that. And then all of a sudden Will Smith has a movie with himself.
You spoke it into existence. It's like... what is it, like The Secret? That old like self-help book. If you say it, you actualize it, it'll come to be.
Yeah, a bit of new ageism.
Yeah, but it's apparently true because Jake wished Gemini Man into existence.
Well, I mean, so you're saying this movie is my fault?
Yes, you're to blame for this travesty.
Extremely your fault. However, it does contain double the Will Smith, so is it really all that bad?
I don't know. I don't even know how to... That's funny you mentioned that, because I don't know how to respond to that question.
I mean, can you imagine it if maybe, like, we had an action movie where the entire action cast was just one action hero copied over and over, like 5 Rambos? Do you think that would be better?
I could definitely see it being better, honestly.
So it'd basically be the Expendables, except it's all Sylvester.
It's all Stallone.
Yeah, it's all Stallone.
And it's completely like you can't understand a word of it.
Have subtitles underneath.
Yeah, but I thought it was funny you mentioned that. Like, isn't it great that there's double Will Smith? And that was kind of one thing I wanted to broach in this podcast is like, where do we stand on Will Smith? And I put that up for debate.
It's a good question because I think we do have to land on a side of whether we put double Will Smith in the pros or cons. Because the thing that's interesting to me is that Will Smith is now in everything, but in this he's in everything twice.
Yeah, he's even more in everything.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I really liked him in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance.
I mean, he was Will Smith.
He got the titular line.
What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh, yeah, he said it.
And that's why I like him in that, because he was brave enough to do the title drop.
He knew what movie he was in.
Yes.
And you can see on his face that he realized it was all too late.
Yeah, there was no saving this film.
No. Because they filmed so much movie, none of it was usable.
I know they filmed, was it 4... No, it was like 20 hours, wasn't it? I can't remember.
It was
a ridiculous amount of footage. But we always end up talking about Suicide Squad. This should be like Suicide Pod. Yeah, that's our secondary secret podcast hidden in here.
The thing about Will Smith is that I like him, but he can only play Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing because a lot of actors, that's all they can do.
Yeah,
like,
I'd say Keanu Reeves is great, but he can only play himself.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, if you put him in like an English period piece, say do a British accent, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
But yeah, I personally...
he hasn't done anything to offend me.
No, that's the thing. I feel like you like Will Smith better when you're a kid. I don't know, he feels more like a kid's actor. He's like kind of a role model. But like as you get older, I don't know. As I've gotten older, like the shine has kind of come off the apple a little bit. And it's not like he's done anything terrible or, not like he's an awful actor. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I outgrew him, his particular style. I don't know if he was like kind of stuck in the 90s or what, but I think I have like a comment someone made on YouTube that kind of maybe explains it. I guess I'll go ahead and...
Yeah, let's go with that.
It says...
Billy forms his worldviews around YouTube comments.
Well, sometimes they sum it up better than I ever could, It's kind of like the premise of the give monkeys a typewriter and eventually they'll give you like Shakespeare.
In a way, you're kind of like a prospector sifting through all the bubble of YouTube comments.
You get enough comments. Yeah, you get enough comments, you'll find some gold.
There's wisdom in these comments.
But anyways, the comment says Will Smith has become that "hello there, fellow kids" meme in real life, and I feel like that sums him up. I don't know if it's just I feel like he's trying too hard to relate with the kids and be relevant, and you can like sense that kind of like stale desperation. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I've soured on him.
He just gotta learn to be himself instead of trying to force himself to relate to kids. He should.
I guess that's his problem. He is himself.
I guess
I guess we're just still helping him. Though.
I don't know if he needs to revamp his brand. Try new things. I mean, he tried Concussion.
But the thing is, he's doing great.
I know that's the thing. He doesn't. Yeah,
he doesn't have to revamp his brand because he's really one of the hottest actors of this year for whatever reason.
Yeah, he really has taken off.
Is he in the Pigeon movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I guess he doesn't need to listen to us because he's doing fine. I don't know. It hasn't been the same since. I'm trying to think of like the last movie. I don't know. I kind of liked him in 7 Pounds. I don't know if that movie holds up. That's a weird movie about a man killing himself with a jellyfish. And then giving his body parts to people in need. It is a weird premise.
What a weird movie.
It's super bleak. I remember liking it, though. I was a kid when I saw it, but ever since that jellyfish killed him in a bathtub, it just hasn't been the same. No. He peaked at that point for me personally.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine that? Peaking out and killing yourself with a jellyfish.
But he didn't really, because, he's had a great career. So I don't know.
Maybe
I have
he did
a weird
kill himself. I just cloned him.
Yeah. I have a weird relationship with Will Smith.
Well, this kind of brings up an interesting point in that you can just kind of fill your movie with the same actor over and over again, essentially. Like, you don't have to pay for anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, you can save a lot in terms of your budget. You just cast one person.
Yeah.
Have to play for
It's like, can you imagine this kind of tangent in the Willy Wonka, like how mad the Oompa Loompa has to be at this point? Because he had to do that multiple times. They superimposed it. When they could have just computer generated them across a ton of them,
Yeah, Deep Roy. Yeah. I did all that for nothing. Now they could just take another person and paste my face on it, or just make it out of computer wholesale.
Yeah. I think the problem is I don't know what else to talk about this movie. I think we need some content.
Yeah, well, this is probably the longest we've gone before getting to the trailer. So
we haven't even got to the trailer.
No, we don't. We just jump right into it, which is fine because we kind of need to talk about Will Smith. Although I feel like we haven't come to any conclusions.
Not yet. I think we will through the trailer and some reviews. I think we'll come to a conclusion.
So wait, Is he fighting more Will Smiths in that movie?
Well, I was going to bring that up because I don't think there's just two. I think we may be actually getting our wish where there's like literally millions of Will Smiths. It's an army of Will Smiths.
So it could be as many movies as possible.
Yeah.
At the end, we find out that there's just a bunch of Will Smiths all over the world now, and they're just infiltrating governments, and eventually all people will be Will Smith.
Was he like
true utopia?
Okay, did you guys catch that? Like the best part of the trailer.
I'm not sure.
Okay, it starts with "Who will save you from yourself?"
Okay, well, I don't.
Will.
Who will save you from yourself?
Yeah.
There's like somebody actually made a comment about that.
Yeah, that's a great. Honestly, I like that a lot. I think that should be a pro.
Who will save you from yourself?
Yeah, I like that quite a bit.
In a way, he's becoming like the Will Smith is slowly turning into like the agent. What was the agent's name from the Matrix?
Agent Smith. Yeah, I was
Smith.
thinking
He's gonna
the same
become him. Like you said, everyone will become Will Smith.
Yeah, it'd be Will Smiths in dresses, and there'd be little Will Smiths, and they'll get married and have more Will Smiths.
In a way, this kind of. I wonder if they are cloning him in real life, because that would explain how he's able to be in so many movies. Like they have a Will Smith factory. And it's like, I need Will Smith in my movie, but he's too busy filming in this movie. I'll order a Will Smith.
Well, I don't see why not, since we have, Marky Mark, his army of clones and his work. Why can't
they perfected the cloning technology?
Yeah, with Will Smith. And
Mark was but a prototype.
I'm wondering if his children were all failed clones. Yeah, in reference to the beginning joke I made, I feel like we kind of rack on Jaden Smith a lot, but no hard feelings. Honestly, he's just easy to make fun of.
Well, yeah, I mean, he kind of brings it on himself. To be fair.
Although I haven't heard much out of him in a while.
Yeah, probably moved on. To be fair.
Yeah,
we all go through that kind of cringy phase in our childhood.
I'm trying to think of like what attracted, I guess, the money. I always answer my own question, the money. But like, what about this script attracted all these people to it? Because it just feels like a relic of the early 2000s.
You don't like it?
The idea? I mean, like, the idea seems fun, but it doesn't look like they've gone, like... To me, this... I always think of Face Off when I think of Gemini Man. But, like, Face Off is, like, insane.
Yeah.
And it has, like, insane actors. Oh, the problem with this premise is Will Smith is so, like, down-the-barrel... normal actor guy.
He's a straight shooter.
There's nothing really interesting about seeing him fight himself.
Right.
They could have cast two different people.
I want Nick Cage.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't want to invoke his holy name on the podcast yet again, but I feel like if you're not going to use someone who's like manic and crazy like Nicolas Cage, what is the point of this premise?
I mean, what about Danny DeVito versus himself?
Yeah,
that would be great.
That'd be great too. I'm saying someone who has some color, some
bombastic personality.
Yeah.
I get a lot of 2000s vibes from this movie.
Yeah, like I was saying.
Especially the motorcycle combat. All I can think of is Mission Impossible 2 with their motorcycle jousting, which is probably the best scene ever.
Yeah, but I think it's the best action scene.
But I do hate that movie.
No, it's a terrible movie. It's the worst Mission Impossible.
But as a whole, we need some pros, cons, and whatnot. So what do we think? Do we like the idea of an actor finding their younger self?
No, I think it's a great premise.
Yeah. I
just think it's just weird they picked like Will Smith for this.
So should we do like a con? They should have chosen a more bombastic actor.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, let's start with that con. I do kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's the style. I kind of do like the action, the way it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know like how to describe it, but it's almost real smooth and fast. I don't know the best way to describe it, but like when he's fighting,
kinetic. I
guess.
in
the crypt, basically.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
I don't know how to feel about it because it turns a little flubbery at times.
Flubbery? What does that mean?
Well, like when they go CGI and it doesn't look quite right for about a split second.
What you're saying is like the Naruto Pain fight.
Yeah, when he gets all like smeared and
yeah.
If you haven't seen that, look up like Naruto versus Pain, and I think Pain, though it's spelled Pein. He's a Naruto villain, but yeah, I do think it had some energy to it.
Yeah,
but I have heard that it's kind of a pain to watch visually, and I kind of want to talk about like the frames per second. I don't know if you know Ang Lee, the director.
Complain about frames per second on a video game podcast.
Well, that's how movies work. We filmed the normal frame rate is 24 frames per second.
Right.
The language of film is predicated on that. For 100 years, we've been using that, and
The reason why, if you watch The Hobbit, you can kind of see why. It really starts affecting your eyes and even your brain. You start getting a headache when you watch it for a real long time.
Yeah.
Did they film that at a higher frame rate?
Yeah, it was was it 48 for The Hobbit?
I think so.
Yeah.
48 or 60, I can't remember.
I wonder why video games don't affect you like that then.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's completely artificial, and it doesn't mess with your brain as much.
Maybe.
So it's like live action at higher than 24.
Yeah, because it's funny that we're doing this episode now because I recently was listening to a podcast and someone explained frame rate because they were doing like all the Ang Lee movies.
Oh, okay.
And Ang Lee has kind of become like this pioneer in like trying to push cinema and like frame rates and stuff like that, which he's had an insane career. The guy, he's directing Gemini Man, and he directed Brokeback Mountain. How do you get from Brokeback Mountain to Gemini Man? He also directed the Hulk, the first Hulk movie, and Life of Pi.
Yeah, it said that one because that one was actually successful.
Yeah, I mean, Brokeback Mountain was very successful. Well, got him an Oscar. But it's such a different movie.
Can you refresh my memory of Brokeback Mountain? It's been a while.
You need a refresher.
It's the gay cowboy movie.
Yeah.
It's
the quintessential gay cowboy movie.
Oh, okay.
It's like a very like low key sentimental drama, and now he's got like Will Smith fighting himself, in flubber mode with motorcycle karate. He's had an insane career. He's kind of gotten hung up on the like technology aspect.
I think we do have to give a pro for motorcycle karate.
I guess it's on principle.
He's hung up on the technology. Oh man, he fell for the George Lucas trap.
He kind of has in a way, because I don't know if you heard of the film Billy Land's Halftime Walk.
No, I haven't, but I'm no.
Very few. It's another movie he directed. I think it was 2016, or it hasn't been too long, but only a handful of people have seen that movie as it was intended to be seen. Because he filmed that movie in 3D, 4K at 120 frames per second.
Oh my god! He's trying to kill people?
I know. The average is, like I said, is 24.
Yeah.
So he's just like quintupled it basically.
Is he trying to actually develop a way to kill people in the theater?
It sounds like Ang Lee. I know we've talked about this before, but it sounds like Ang Lee is trying to like maybe not kill you, but just destroy your grasp on reality. Because
is he the author behind Star Wars fatigue?
I mean, maybe.
Do you think that was Disney, or did he sabotage the Star Wars series by introducing Star Wars fatigue into the cinemas?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility.
By sabotaging the movies.
He only wanted to be like the visual pioneer. He didn't want anyone like stealing his thunder. He's jealous of anyone that's using like digital effects. Only he wants to push the medium forward.
So he just ramped up the frame rate of the Star Wars film and just knocked out a bunch of people.
And maybe he only did a little bit. Maybe it was like 25 frames, just enough to start wearing on you over a long period of time.
It's like slowly poisoning someone. You don't want to do it all at once.
Yeah,
slowly
maybe
ramps up the frames.
I don't know. Maybe let's make a note of that. Ang Lee created Star Wars fatigue,
possibly, or at least. It was probably the prototype. He needed to, they try it out on a massive, scale because you want to find the people who are immune to it.
Yeah.
And then, I guess
find a way to like affect them.
Yeah.
Make a powerful dose.
I just love this thought of like sitting in a theater. You're like, I'm gonna watch this movie. It's 100 frames per second in 4K, and I just imagine that scene from the Raiders of the Lost Ark. People going, their faces melt off.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like once you start getting around 60 frames per second, the whole like language of cinema just falls apart. I looked at clips of Billy Land. They can't play it like it was originally. They can only get to 60, and it looks insane. It doesn't look like a movie. It looks like amateurish. It throws everything off. Like the concept of the screen, it's destroyed. It looks like reality is projected.
Goodness.
So when you see like a close up of someone's face, you no longer think, "Oh, that's a close up." You think there's like a gigantic Chris Tucker staring at you through a massive window. That's what I've heard.
Just these mental images.
Yeah, so
And then a giant hand reaches out.
Yeah, I mean that's the illusion it creates, and they can only do this at certain theaters to play Billy Lynn at like 120 frames per second, and so that's why very few people have actually seen it.
I'm horrified.
But so this movie, I think, is in 60 FPS on certain theaters.
Oh, really?
And I hope that is not a trend that catches on because it is a nightmare.
Okay, now I have a really important question. How does like CGI work at a higher frame?
That's the thing. CGI benefits.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like 10 times
No,
worse.
that's the it's the problem. Like when you compare like reality and fake, that's when your brain starts going, "What in the world?"
Right.
And also when you're projecting reality, your brain's like, "What is going on?" But CGI, it's already artificial. It's already designed to play at that kind of high fidelity.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's why it's actually benefits.
Oh, that's strange. I
Yeah.
thought the opposite. You learn something new every day. This has become an educational podcast.
Yeah, I was like, this is perfect. I've learned a lot and I can share it. But the funny thing is, animated films are still animated at 24 FPS because once you start introducing additional frames, you double your budget and workload.
Oh, great.
So it becomes a nightmare. You know, it's just we can't crack that technology. And Ang Lee is a pioneer, and I feel like that's maybe what attracted him. I feel like he's like, I don't care about the script. I just want to be able to film this in a bizarre way and fry people's brains. That's all he cares about now.
Like a mad
He's
scientist.
a madman.
Well, what was kind of frying my brain, especially at the beginning of the trailer, was the fact that there's Will Smith and there's Will Smith.
Oh, I know. It's just jaw dropping.
No, I mean, it's just jarring. It's like, this is really strange.
Oh, you mean like literally? It's just weird seeing them.
Yeah, just seeing himself with a younger version of himself. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
I want to say that, what is it? That Akira, the anime, was animated at a higher frames per second.
That would make sense. It does seem pretty like, man, that'd be a nightmare. That's traditional animation.
It used more than 160,000 animation cells.
Good grief. Yeah, and that's one of the most frenetic animated films ever. So that would make sense.
Well, let's kind of go back to the pros and cons. Can we think of any others other than... Do we think higher frame rate is a con? Do we have that already? Or
That's the thing.
is it a pro-con?
Yeah, because I hate to just like flat out say it's bad.
Right.
Because maybe there is something to like pushing the medium and seeing what you can do with this new way of like capturing film or capturing, video.
Right.
Because it's so early at this point. We can't think of like the possibilities. It'd be like mocking the Wright brothers in their wooden little plane.
Right.
Like, it'll never, I don't want to be that guy like later on when we're watching like 500 FPS movies and it's groundbreaking. I don't want to be that guy like previous is like, it's terrible.
Okay, I was looking at this. It turns out that animated movies are animated at 12 frames per second.
Oh, even less. Okay.
And Akira is animated at 24.
Oh, okay. So maybe
so
that's
Akira
why.
is animated at what you would normally do a live action.
It makes it look smoother, probably. See, that's the thing. Yeah. At such a low FPS, part of the reason why it feels natural to you is your eye is kind of like filling in the blanks. Mm-hmm. And with at higher frame rates, it doesn't have to. So it's like it's just absorbing it, and that's why it looks more real. Right. So it's like reality, where you're literally seeing everything as it develops. But I guess, I had some like articles.
Let's go to them.
I got prepared like weeks in advance, so I can't remember exactly why, but
it'd be a surprise for everyone.
Yeah. So basically, in this article, it says, Gemini Man, the tragic tale of development hell. So this movie kind of languished.
I heard it did.
Yeah. Languished in development hell.
Good job, Luke.
Yeah.
I heard it did.
Good job for hearing that.
Thank you.
I'm glad you heard it.
I don't know why I saved this article other than that it said it was in development hell. I can't find
well,
anything
we got it. We wasted, about 5 minutes. That's okay.
Oh, yeah, the film originally was... Wait, this was originally written by Clint Eastwood? No, written with Clint Eastwood in mind for the role. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting.
Well, he's an older actor, and it would have made sense to see a younger...
In 97, it was written with him in mind. So this has been around for a while.
97? This movie script is as old as I am.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's weird because Nicolas Cage was in mind for this role.
Oh, what a missed chance.
I know. He instead he wanted to do Sorcerer's Apprentice. And you know why he wanted to do Sorcerer's Apprentice? Because he'd never played a wizard. That was his whole reason. He wanted to play a wizard, which I can't fault him. But
no, he's a sorcerer, not a wizard.
Big difference.
So yeah, it's been languishing since the 90s, and sometimes you just have to wonder if it's languishing, maybe there's a reason. Maybe don't waste so much time on this. This is not that great of a premise. Like, it's cool, but it's not worth working on it for that long. Although, to be fair, they're probably just batting it around forever and then eventually, but I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, it was in development hell.
Hooray!
Yeah, this is the great podcast.
Well, I heard it was in development hell.
Yeah.
Is that a pro or a con that it was in development hell? Is that a con?
I don't know. If we repeat development hell multiple times, do you think this turns into a joke?
It sounds like content if we do it enough. Oh boy. Yeah.
They're in development hell now?
Yeah. But yeah, and this article is talking about how this movie is a major advance in VFX tech. I mean, I'll give them credit, they are kind of cracking humans in CGI.
Yeah. I didn't know if we wanted to get into that or save it. I know we definitely wanted to talk it on the Star Wars episode we do have planned. Just a little teaser there.
Talk about what?
The CGI people, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Just how, that they got a dead actor who's playing a new role.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You no longer need essentially actors. You only need doubles, essentially.
Yeah. No, that seems like where it's going, honestly.
Thank goodness it would finally break the power actors have.
Yeah.
We can say, we don't need you. You're easily replaceable.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I did think was interesting, just the tiny little minutia they needed to get correct, just with the eye. The tissue gets thinner along the back of the eyelid, so it gets translucent. And then they realize there's a lining called the conjunctiva. Very thin, very translucent membrane, which is like a jellyfish that sits on top of the eye. This causes veins to float within the conjunctiva. We use this info to create a slight yellowing toward the center, the corner of the eye. This kind of precision made the eyes much more realistic looking, which I feel like that was kind of the hurdle I need to get over. Is the dead eye thing is what makes CGI characters look so unnerving.
Well, there's two things. There's the eyes. And there's the mouth/teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Those two things, because those will plummet you straight into the uncanny valley. So hard, you won't even know what happened.
What I love is when the lips kind of flap too low and the teeth unhinge slightly. That's always a good look. But yeah, so this has been the Much Review About Nothing News Corner, and the Gemini Man, it was a VFX advancement, and it was in development hell.
Wow, how boring.
Yeah.
So is this podcast. Yes. We haven't really talked about the movie a whole lot.
That is true. I didn't know if we wanted to talk about the premise at all, or...
It just, clone tries to kill his older self.
Well, It seems like there's a lot of emotions in this. The main bad guy gets very emotional with the younger Will Smith.
Yeah, it's like he's more his mentor.
Yeah.
But he's trying to kill him with a younger version.
Why are they trying?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I had this thought
Oh, I know why they're trying to kill him.
Oh, why?
He's retiring.
I never understand that, why he's retired, so now we gotta kill him. What are they afraid he's gonna share information? Or
I guess so.
I mean, I feel like it's jumping the gun. I feel like if he's getting out of the game, maybe don't worry about him until maybe he's showing signs of...
Because it looks like he doesn't really care anymore. He just wants to retire,
Well, why does anyone want to become an assassin if when you retire, they're just going to kill you anyways? If you do this enough, no one's going to... I guess that's why they're cloning at this point, because they can't get anyone to take the job, because I know, they're just going to kill me anyways. It damages your job pool terribly if everyone else are going to die at the end of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the problem at my last job, is that once you tried to retire, they just killed you, so nobody wanted to work there.
But I guess I feel like they're just going to continuously have this problem. If you make a Will Smith to kill a Will Smith, you're going to have to make another Will Smith to kill that Will Smith. It's
a Will Smith chain block.
Yeah, I don't know. This problem, it just feels like you're asking for trouble here.
I feel like it would be better if you just retired the old Will Smith out of a combat role and just into a mentor or
bring him back
role.
in to train the other younger Will Smith.
That's what most military people end up doing.
Yeah,
A
that makes
pirate.
more sense.
Because
But
most people, when they retire, don't just immediately say, well, I think I'll just spill our secrets to the enemy, you know? That makes the most sense. I've just served them all my life, so now it's time to betray them now that I'm retired.
Unless they're afraid he'll get captured. But if he's like the best, then no one's going to be able to capture him.
Yeah, put that as a con. This is a horribly flawed premise to kill Will Smith. It needs like a better one than, oh no, he might down the road decide to sell. Like, I need that new yacht, so I'll sell some military secrets, you know?
Well, see, what they need to do is build a retirement home for Will Smiths. That way you have him there, you can keep an eye on him, and you won't have to kill him. And you could also mentor there, too. You got to bring in the younger ones, you know, because older Will Smiths, they get lonely.
Yeah.
You know, they want to talk to people, so you bring in young Will Smiths so they have someone to relate to and talk to.
This is a very wholesome image right now. Thank you, Billy.
The circle of life of Will Smith.
Yes. I wish there was a pro or con we could do with that, but I don't know.
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
It exists only in our dreams.
Yeah.
Yes. And our nightmares.
So, I mean, I'm guessing in the movie, yada yada, they want to kill him. He's clearly interacting with his younger self. So I imagine he's going to team up with his younger self, and they're going to kill Clive Owen, who has evil plans.
I would say he's not doing much acting, so he's mostly entering.
What?
You say he was interacting. I say, well, Will Smith's not doing much acting, so he's
just entering with himself.
Ugh.
It's a terrible joke.
It's awful. It's disgusting.
Jake goes to the box of shame.
Jake's in there now. I was in there before now. Jake is.
Yeah, and I think they probably have to fight a bunch of themselves.
I'm leaning towards that. Just a bunch of Will Smith would be a pro.
I guess if he was more interesting.
Yeah, we just come down to that. If it was just Nicolas Cage, if you just had a movie that was just filled with Nicolas Cage, that's it. That's your movie.
No, I know. That's the thing. This premise is great.
And all you gotta do to get him to act in the movie is say, "Hey, you're a wizard, but you accidentally cloned yourself." He's like, "Oh yeah, I can be a wizard again."
See, that's all I had to say.
Yeah.
I've been thinking maybe. Do we need to, propose ideas of what happens later in the film? I didn't know if... we never... In this podcast, the nature of it, we never really talk about, the actual film itself that much. I didn't know if we needed to, propose things we think are going to be in it, or,
We could.
I mean, we just did. You said that he was going to team up with his younger self.
I guess that's true,
that's the obvious thing, because he was talking to him... and saying...
But he did shoot that grenade back at them. I don't know the real-life physics of that or anything like that.
He shoots and it blows up right there.
I don't think it would just blow. I think it would just penetrate right through and the bullet would just keep going. And maybe it would stop it there, but it wouldn't shoot it back.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question.
Well, maybe. I mean, with shotguns anyways, they used to blow grenades away.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it would work then. Yeah. That is a cool shot in the trailer where he deflects the...
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like I said...
It was a low-caliber round, maybe.
What
did he shoot it with again?
Pistol.
Yeah,
pistol. That might work.
Yeah, it's not as strong.
I mean, I kind of liked the action. I mean, you said it was bland or whatever, but I mean, it had...
Well, that's what they said in the
It had some interesting pieces, like I said. I do like... the motorcycle bit, I thought that was interesting, and then the grenade bit. I mean, that's all I can think of.
We seem to be torn on actions. Do you want to put that on the pro-con then? Maybe good, maybe bad?
I don't know. It's hard to tell from those little, spikes of it.
It's the trailer.
And, it seems interesting, but you don't know how it's going to look, stretched out for, 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean...
So it's hard to tell.
Well, it's like the Jason Bourne, is it Identity, or the one with, what's his face?
Yeah, the Bourne Identity.
Jeremy
Renner. Jeremy Renner, yeah.
No, Jeremy... That one, it was just strung out, and there was so many chases.
There was no action in it, besides, long chases.
That one was bad.
No, I know. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Did we want to go ahead and do random reviews? That's kind of how we find out more about the
I guess so,
yeah. I agree. All right. We have Dr. Shyam Mukuden, and he says, Gemini, English movie. Will Smith, as an aging elite sharpshooter assassin, is about to retire from government service. Finds out he's on the receiving end. Someone is trying to kill him. This story unfolds in 120 minutes.
Thanks for summing it up.
Highly technical camera shots and well choreographed action sequences will entertain you, but the presentation as such is below par. Will Smith as Agent Henry is good, as he has done it before, but the script is not holding its content. Gemini is a government program for cloning, where Henry's clone is prepared and pitted against him. Younger Henry looks terrible. Screenplay has handled the emotional scenes between the hero and his clone in a shoddy manner. These kind of double roles, father, son, in parentheses, we would have seen in Indian movies umpteen number of times, definitely better than this.
Oh, he is Indian, so
Yeah.
he's talking about
5 on 10 for this thriller, 5 marks only for the action scenes. Hollywood should learn the technique of handling the emotional scenes from Bollywood or Collywood. Tamil superstar Surya Ganji and this Gemini has a lot in similar. The name is similar. Dual roles used in both. Idea of pain insensitivity. Emotional side of the story. Plagiarism. Miss this Gemini. Go for Ganjini and you will enjoy better.
I think he's a little biased.
So we got a movie recommendation in this one. Go see Ganjini, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
We don't speak Hindi, so we're probably mispronouncing that.
That's making me wonder, would this movie be better if there was like a 45-minute dance sequence in the middle of it? Like old Will Smith and young Will Smith, they dance out their feelings. You know, they can't express what they need to express through words, so they dance for 45 minutes.
I think so. There we go.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you're making fun of like the CGI and young Will Smith. Is he saying that Will Smith was ugly when he was young?
Younger Henry looks terrible. Yeah, maybe he was just insulting Will Smith.
That's mean.
Yeah.
So he was not impressed with the digital effects, it seems. Even
No.
though the article, we had it on good word that it's advanced VFX.
Well, who are we going to believe? This article or this Indian man?
I'd say the Indian man.
Okay, good.
Well, again, he may not be talking about the effects. He just thinks younger Will Smith is
He
ugly.
didn't mention the effects. That's right. Just didn't...
How rude.
Yeah.
Well, the action is consistent.
So maybe a good rental.
Maybe Hollywood should take some pointers from Bollywood. Be a lot more interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Here's a short one from the IMDb. It's Chris McCanally, 30117. 2 out of 10, 2 Will Smiths don't make a right. Will dodged a bullet by not being an Independence Day resurgent, but he fell face first on a grenade with Gemini Man. You can almost say a grenade was launched back
was
into
shot
his
at him.
face.
And he
Yeah.
fell.
So yeah, 2 Will Smiths, they don't make a right.
That makes no sense.
It would have made more. The joke would have made more sense if Will Smith was like if he was named Will Wright or something like that.
Yeah.
Like 2 rights don't make a wrong. Maybe this
2
is a
wills
dead,
don't make a right. I don't know.
this is a dead joke. We should abandon it.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it.
Then we have Gavril 74480. 4 out of 10. Expected it to be a better film. The idea of clones is very interesting by itself, but not in this film. The storyline isn't that good and is very predictable. I did not like the CGI. It looks like someone else is wearing Will Smith's face, and not in a good way. Does not look real.
Is there a good way to wear someone's face?
Well, actually, the thing is, Will Smith did film younger Will Smith. They had CGI.
No, I know. Yeah, it seems to be the only way to possibly
So she's
do
saying that Will Smith wore his own face.
it. He did not do a good job being himself.
Yes. It's like Charlie Chaplin losing that impersonation contest.
They continue. It does not look real. Many action sequences look too digitalized. You get out of the movie thinking, okay, that's it. Where's the story? What's the point? Seems like both of them are missing.
So, no point, no story.
Yes, no
That
point,
seems-
no story, and Will Smith looks like somebody else is wearing his face.
So, we think there's a narrative, but maybe it's not explained. Maybe it's just... That would almost be a good, like, horror story. A better movie, or maybe this is where they were taking it and we just didn't get it, but there's no explanation. An assassin is just confronted with himself, trying to kill himself.
Very surreal.
Like, kind of like Junji Ito style of, like, no explanation. It just happened.
Right.
You know? I don't know. That is a cool premise.
That
you know?
is a cool kind of horror. I like that.
Yeah, and
Because
like...
people want to explain everything.
Yeah, your clone has no idea why he's there. He just is, and he's got to kill you, and he doesn't know why. And so maybe that's it. There is no story. It is just 2 clones trying to kill each other.
Well, Billy, I have to correct you there. There's not just 2 clones.
There's a bunch.
You'll see.
But maybe that factors into it. Maybe it just gets worse. It's like there's more of him.
Yes.
And
well, then you have kind of an identity crisis that, well, which one's me?
Yeah.
Am I me? But I'm over there, so who's me?
And going back to our horror idea, maybe it's kind of like a compulsion. Like he has to kill, and he doesn't know why. He's like, I have to kill you, and I don't know why. You know.
And so it's just 2 hours of these Will Smiths killing each other. And then they take the place, and the other clone kills the other clone.
I think at the end, he just realizes that, well, if I'm over there, then I can't be me, and he just shoots himself.
They all kill themselves.
Yes. They realize that if I'm over there, I can't be me. So.
Yeah. And then Elizabeth Winstead is there for some reason, and we don't know why.
All right. Then YM Ucida, I don't know. 3 out of 10, nothing special. Rating 3.5 out of 10. 3 clones of Will Smith. That's all. If you want to go and see a really bad movie, this is the one for you. So I think you're right, Billy. There's nothing else. It's just 3 Will Smiths.
There's 3 now?
Yes.
Sort of like rabbits. You turn your
3 clones of Will Smith.
So there's only 3. There's not more than 3.
If there's 3 clones, does that mean there's 4?
Oh, that's a good point. If there's 3 clones of him, there would be 4.
Also, I love when they have at the top, they put the rating. And then they write out their rating, but it's not the same as their top rating. 3 out of 10, 3.5 out of 10. It doesn't make any sense.
So that's interesting how we're kind of picking away at this, where there is no plot. It is like waiting for Godot with a bunch of Will Smiths, all trying to kill each other. So they're all standing beside the robe, but instead of just like preoccupying themselves with nonsense, they're just trying to murder each other. I don't know. I'm kind of turning around a little bit. I know this happens a lot, but what we thought was just a dull action movie, it's turning into like this art film about like identity.
Yeah. And
like,
then all of a sudden, Jason Bourne's there.
Yeah.
They heard the word identity. They had to get their brooms and fight them off.
And then they shake the camera around drastically, and you get nauseous. the Paul Greengrass style. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking I put down the pro, like Will Smith is confronted by the horror of himself. Maybe like a plotless kind of art film.
Yes.
With Will Smith.
Yes.
Will Smith being an art film.
But there's still action. It's just constantly
an action art film.
Yeah.
We're breaking new ground here.
Well, another point I forgot to bring up was that like you can kind of see where Will Smith is mentally, judging by his roles, like with Concussion, the football movie where he figures out that playing football is hurting their brains.
Oh, big surprise!
Yeah,
I didn't see that one coming.
The shock of of a millennium there. That was kind of his Oscar play. So you can see he's like, I want an Oscar. With like Suicide Squad, he's like, I want to be a hero or an anti-hero and relate to the kids. I
want to be some sort of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and in Gemini Man, he's disappointed with his son. So he's like, he didn't turn out how I wanted, and so I replace him with myself.
Wow.
But no, this like Gemini Man is him trying to recapture his youth.
Was After
like
Earth
literally
really that bad?
So, do you think Will Smith's next step is the revival of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
It would make sense.
I think that's his I think we'll find that in 2020. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh King of Bel-Air.
Yeah, Fresh King of Bel-Air. Resurgence. Revitalized.
Resurgence of the Reloaded.
Reinvigorated.
Because he gets shot in an episode.
Does he?
Yeah.
I haven't actually watched too much Fresh Prince.
I don't think it ages quite as well as people,
I remember watching a few episodes when I was younger and liking it.
Well, yeah, it's the classic sitcom, pause for laughter, kind of deal.
I really like Carl.
But then my other point was, this is him trying to recapture his youth, but this is also Will Smith's self-loathing, because it's nothing but Will Smith trying to murder Will Smith.
Wow.
So he's kind of in a low place. I wonder if he's not as fulfilled as being a Disney slave as he thought he would be. I don't know. I feel like you can see a lot. One interesting thing about Will Smith is his psyche is bared through his films, so you can kind of track him.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that if we do get a Fresh King of Bel-Air, that it's actually it's kind of like this, but it's Will Smith and Carl trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
they finally had enough of each other. They're fighting each other with motorcycles and stuff.
Yeah, motorcycle jousting, like Mission Impossible.
Yeah. All right, I've got 2 more, and they're my best ones, I would say.
All right.
All right, we got Griffin Mulligan, student in brackets in his name. I think that Gemini Man is the best kind of man in a cinematic experience. When I walked out of the theater, I was amazed at how Old Willy made me smile in the end. I went home and prayed to the Gemini Man shrine I created.
Oh, no.
After that, I told my family how this enlightening experience has changed my life and how I truly believe that Gemini Man is the best movie of the 21st century. Not only was it great, but it inspires me to be my own Gemini Man, like Will Smith. Thumbs up for sure. And then in brackets, translated from Ukrainian, and then there was some Ukrainian script. So I translated. And it could either be Smith will be hot, or Will Smith is hot.
I think.
So you decide.
So he really. I feel like from now on.
He wants to be his own chip, so he wants to clone himself and try and murder himself?
I guess so. From now on, we can't call him Will Smith anymore. He has to be Old Willy from now on.
Old Willy.
Old Willy.
Old Willy.
Old Willy.
Put this man in the VIP for Old Willy.
What was this guy's name?
Griffin Mulligan.
Griffin.
Student.
Ukrainian student.
Okay, so he loved this film.
He did.
He
Changed his life.
He honestly got a little bit of the emojiism, religion via media. He started his own religion for Gemini
And
Man.
I like how he has this shrine because in Greek Orthodox or Orthodox religions, they normally have in their house especially in the old days, was like a shrine dedicated to Jesus and all that. And it would be in the corner, to have all these lights and
Well, yeah, I mean,
but just imagining that him in his Ukrainian hut, and over in the corner he has one dedicated to Gemini Man.
Yeah.
What if I told you I have Griffin Mulligan's rival? His direct enemy, I would say.
Oh, so he has his own Gemini copy.
He got what he wanted. He wanted to be Gemini Man.
We have Jude Driscoll, student, in brackets, just the same way.
Wait, Drew Driscoll?
Yeah, Jude Driscoll.
Oh, Jude.
Yeah, Jude Driscoll, student. All right? I went into this movie thinking it would be a smash hit classic that would be in my possession the second it goes to DVD and VHS. I'm sad to say this movie didn't live up to my expectations. The whole movie, I was waiting to hear Will Smith say, "Are you some kind of Gemini man?"
That's it. We picked. We're done here.
These guys are funnier than we could ever hope.
I waited the entire movie to hear that, and it never came. I was so angry.
That's it, con.
I stood up and dumped my popcorn on the person sitting in front of me. We decided to settle this like men and took out into the parking lot. I was ready to fight him until I realized something. The man I was about to fight looked identical to me. He was just about 20 years younger. We looked at each other for a moment until I uttered the words, "Are you some kind of Gemini man?" He ended up kicking my rear, and I'm typing this from the hospital. Overall, I would classify this as a successful day, and I do plan to purchase Gemini Man once it comes out on DVD and VHS. So they are releasing, I think what we can glean from this one, they're releasing it on VHS.
That's bold. No one owns a VHS player. Oh my goodness.
It's kind of like how people are buying the big disc, the records.
So what if
Vinyls, the big disc.
The vinyls. I'm sorry, I'm disoriented right now.
the big disc,
I love the big disc.
It's the laser disc, isn't it?
I just love the idea. I'm gonna go out and buy me a big disc.
I'm sorry, I'm disoriented right now.
What if Jude Driscoll dumped his popcorn on Griffin Mulligan in the same theater?
And they got in a fight.
Yeah.
He wanted to be... That other guy, he seemed to have a better experience overall.
Right.
He didn't seem... It's not only that it clones you, it's literally yin and yang as well. One's younger, one has a completely different mindset.
Look, in the trailer, the guy says he's you, but without the past or the trauma. So maybe he's him without the emotional baggage. Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they cloned Will Smith to get a new one because he was too broody and angsty.
Yeah. It's too edgy.
The fact that this happened in the theater, I was struck with a theory. We were talking about Ang Lee's, maybe he created Star Wars fatigue.
That's how he gets you. That's it. He films you. And then he projects that at such an extremely high rate that it becomes real.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe if you get enough frames, you break the fabric of reality. You know, we talked about how it seems to be reality.
Yeah.
You keep cranking it up. You splinter reality itself, and he's splitting people into Gemini Men in the theater.
You just come up with probably one of the greatest like comic or novel ideas, where like somebody's found a way to crack reality by using movies.
Using frame
rates.
Yeah.
It's incredibly dumb, but it's interesting.
It's great, man.
That would explain why it happened, because I know he was trying to play this film at higher frame rates.
So, because Griffin Mulligan's in the VIP, do we also have to put Jude in the VIP?
I mean, I think we have to.
Yeah,
because, like I said,
they are essentially the same person, are they not? Just
yeah, I don't know if he's in the box of shame automatically because he's his complete opposite, or I don't know.
That's a good question.
Can we really put that man in the box of shame?
I guess that's a fair point. So Jude Driscoll.
Yeah, Jude Driscoll.
But
Well, that's all the reviews I have. And remember, reviews save lives.
Yay! Oh boy! Just when I worry about the podcast, the reviewers come in and save the day. I wish I could be as funny as a reviewer.
Well, I do have someone. I'm just going to talk about this. I titled it Gemini Man Car Accident Review. So this is a review that is Jimmy Jude Films that just talks about this car accident she had in the review. It doesn't make any sense. Her name's relevant. It's like she made a personal blog post. Someone took that and just automatically uploaded it. I was really baffled why this was here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know unless she got caught up in the middle of filming and some stunt car slammed into her. It's relevant. Well, let's stick it in.
It's on the same level as Thanos car, I would say.
It's a weird thing with unrelated car stories.
Yes.
It's odd. All right. Well, I guess that's it for... Oh, yeah, wait, it is it, because we just did the review.
We didn't get a single
live.
pro-con.
But that's okay. You know, pro-cons are there just in case we need it.
I think we were going to do like the frame rate thing. Increased frame rates as a pro-con.
Right, because it's like investing.
Yeah.
It could,
they finally cracked
take
this.
and destroy itself, but you can make a lot of money.
Yeah. Do I even have any good... Yeah, I guess the most interesting thing was in Facts and Follies was the fact that Nicolas Cage was attached. And I still feel like that was the biggest issue.
So does that mean Nicolas Cage was in the film? He was just attached to Will Smith the whole time?
No, we're not.
Yes, and it's like oops, cut that out. I'm dying of heat exhaustion.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, forget it. I don't even have the energy to finish that bit.
That's what makes it a good bit, when you don't even want to finish it.
It's a horrible decision to record this late without the AC on. We're just gonna have to have the AC in the background because this is ridiculous. I'm sweating. Oh boy.
Crazy quizzes then?
Let's go on to crazy quizzes.
Alright.
Crazy quizzes.
Crazy quizzes?
Quizzy quazzies.
Just like we're going crazy in here.
Oh boy.
Or quintessential quizzes? I think that's the... Well, I don't know.
No, it's questionable quizzes.
Questionable quizzes.
Our mother's title was Quasi Quizzes.
Yes. Alright, so we got BuzzFeed. Which Will Smith character are you?
I'm sorry, you mean which Old Willy? Which Old
yes,
Willy?
which Old Willy are you?
I don't like saying Old Willy. It's a
You have to like it.
It's a horrible...
You'll say it.
But it's a euphemism, too.
Is it? Oh, that's true.
Well, it is.
Well, that's not what we mean.
But it's not fair because there's a ton of names, you know, like and, you know...
And
yeah, and
Stop.
All right.
It's getting cut out.
Pick a color. Black, red, pink, yellow, blue, or purple.
Well, I like blue. It's my favorite color, as is 58% of Americans.
I guess I can't argue with 58% of Americans.
All right,
It's 58.
We're going blue. Pick an app. Pokemon Go, WhatsApp, Reddit, Tinder, Uber, or Snapchat.
I used none of those.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it's like a personality thing. Do you like to game while you're out? Do you like whatever WhatsApp is? Do you like to browse random internet stuff on Reddit?
I would say Reddit, but I also want to Pokemon Go to the polls.
All right, this is an important one. Pick a squad member. Katana, Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, and El Diablo. Now, the problem I have with this one
I can't think.
There's no Slipknot.
I know. No, they don't have the best character.
I wanted Slipknot.
This is a travesty. I won't stand for this. Can we write in our own character?
Who's Rick Flag? Is he the?
He's
guy
the normal guy that every time when you said Katana, I just had like a PTSD flashback.
This is Katana.
Don't make her angry.
Her sword steals souls.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Her sword steals the souls of its victims, so don't make her angry. She just shows up and he gives her entire backstory.
So we say Katana because her sword steals souls,
yes.
don't make her angry?
Exactly.
Pick a song, Switch, Miami, Men in Black, Summertime, Getting Jiggy With It, or Party Starter.
Look, we gotta go with the classic, Getting Jiggy With It.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a Will Smith song, by the way.
Okay, yeah, well, I figured.
Wait, did he sing it or was it in the movie?
He sang it.
That's right.
He had a.
He did have a music career. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, he would normally do a single for his movies. Why didn't we get a Gemini Man Rap? Okay, another major con.
He could have had a rap battle with himself.
I know.
Oh,
it's
man.
Perfect.
He could come up and be like, "So, what are you, some sort of Gemini man up in here, you know?" And then they could start doing the rap, like epic rap battles.
All right, we gotta pick a leading lady. We got Charlize Theron, Margot Robbie, Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, Vivica.
Vivica, okay. Nicole Scherzinger, Gabrielle Union, or Eva Mendes.
I don't. None of these people.
Oh man,
That's what they look like.
That's tough. Like, I like Margot Robbie and Charlize Theron a lot.
Hey, wait, she has the Josuke hair. Can we vote for her?
Who is that? That's the one I don't know.
Scherzinger.
That's one I do not even know.
Are we gonna say Margot Robbie? I guess
She has Josuke hair. Pick her.
I don't want to do it for Josuke. I don't even know who she is. I'm leaning towards Theron because she was Furiosa.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I don't know. I like her the most.
I will do Theron. I don't necessarily have an opinion. All right, we got to pick a Banks family member: Philip, Vivian, Carlton, Hillary, Ashley Banks, or Nikki. We got to do Carlton.
Carlton.
It's not unusual.
Or Hancock.
Oh, great.
Hancock.
Yeah,
that one. Remember that one? That was so good, man.
Oh,
that was so
good.
good.
That was a weird movie. It was a really weird movie.
What are you, some kind of Hancock man?
Wait,
okay, now we have to look up his filmography and say that for every single movie.
Hancock is the one where he's superpower.
Yeah, he's a superhero, but he sucks at it, and
if he's near somebody, he becomes mortal, basically.
Yeah, because he's like a race of almost demigods, and that's why they had Charlize Theron in that previous answer, because she's the other demigod. Yeah, it's a weird thing because it feels like it's going to be a superhero comedy, and it turns into this weird romance, but he can't be with her because it does something to him. I don't know. It's a strange movie.
Yeah, it's called Being Married. It does horrible things to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an allegory for marriage.
I hate
Makes you mortal.
See, at that point, Old Willy was having trouble with Jada Pinkett, and so that's the movie that expresses that he was having marital problems. So he was also pitching whales into sailboats by accident, but something that happens in the film.
I think we're out, or
yeah. So now we have to go to his filmography.
Oh, are we actually doing this?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to commit to it. It's got a lot. What are we? Some kind of 7 pounds? What are we? Killed by a jellyfish in a bathtub? But at this point, we have to review this film?
We do.
This podcast is getting worse.
Yeah, we've said that from the beginning. It's just been a
I felt like it was getting better, and then it got worse.
It's a slow descent of madness.
What are we, some kind of Aladdin? What are we, some kind of Will Smith La Fiesta video short?
What are we, some kind of I Am Legend?
What are we, some kind of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble? What are we, some kind of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince Parents Just Don't Understand? There's a lot of these.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
but we do have to review this
What are
film.
we, some sort of Will Smith party starter?
Come on. Let's just keep reading, because the more we read, the less we don't have to do the review.
No, we're gonna go on to the review. That was a good bit. I like that.
It's a great bit.
Give us 5 stars for good bit.
Well, I guess before I talked about
I
this,
forgot I have to read the pros and cons.
I forgot about this before we go on. That really, Will Smith and Keanu Reeves are like in the same sphere, or like they're almost antithesis to each other.
Yeah.
In that they're both really big now for whatever reason and everything, you know, and they also have a similar style of acting. It's kind of weird.
In Will Smith's defense, he can be really good. I feel like he's a better actor overall than Keanu Reeves. But I feel like Keanu Reeves is more endearing. It's a weird thing.
What are you, some sort of John Wick man?
So what we're saying is that we want Will Smith inside John Wick.
Why didn't they do John Wick versus... Or John Wick. That's his name now. He's not Keanu Reeves.
No, he's John Wick.
Why didn't they have John Wick versus John Wick?
Or he's Cyberpunk.
That would have been better.
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like most actors would have been better.
John Wick versus the Gemini Man duo.
Versus the Aunt Jemima man. Spew syrup out of his head. Okay, I have to do the pros and cons.
Okay. Sorry.
Cons. As we were saying, we kind of need a crazier actor, someone with a bigger personality, bigger persona. The premise is flawed because, just let the poor guy retire. There's no 45-minute Bollywood-style dance sequence in the middle. The story, there's no point to the story. Although that might be a pro-con technically. Because that kind of turns into like this.
Yeah, we kind of figured out the movie. Sometimes
Yeah,
that
so maybe that's not.
We strike a con because we figured out the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a sensitive art piece about identity and shooting grenades out of the air.
Yeah, very sensitive. Grenades, you know.
And what is perhaps the most damning con is he does not say what are we, some kind of Gemini man, or what are you, some kind of Gemini man.
Yeah, that's a real disappointment.
And there's no Gemini Man Rap. Which, if you remember, like, the Men in Black rap was, like, huge.
Yeah.
And, well, I guess the Wild West one wasn't really, because everyone hated that movie.
That one was less huge, but our point still stands.
Yes, it's still an entertaining song. Okay, pros. We appreciated the pun of who will save you from yourself.
Yes.
There's motorcycle karate, which you gotta give a thumbs up for that.
Always a fan.
Devil May Cry 5 perfected motorcycle
combat. This film may kind of have this bizarre horror angle of Will Smith confronted by himself, who's trying to kill himself with no reasoning whatsoever. I don't know what Clive Owen and Elizabeth Winstead are doing. They're just there. They're kind of just watching.
Why didn't Clive Owen clone himself?
I don't know. It's a good question. Anyways, we discovered this is kind of a plotless art film. It's like waiting, like I said, it's Waiting for Godot, but with flubbery effects and action. And then pro cons, increased frame rates in general, which like one con to that could be that may bifurcate reality and allow
or drive you insane
and allow people to be cloned within the theater.
Yeah, I mean, as we point out, this could just be an elaborate ploy because he's just trying to, kill people in the theater. So
I don't really know, but
it's
with
very
all that in
spiteful,
mind, we have to somehow review this film. What are we? Some kind of ABC after-school specials?
Well, the fact that there's no some sort of Gemini Man really is a demerit.
What are we? Some kind of Welcome to Hollywood?
But remember, thanks to this one, that any score we get has to be doubled.
Oh, that's true.
Because there's 2 Will Smiths.
Well, you know what?
I'm going to do 22 then.
I'm giving it 11. It's like 2 people standing side by
Oh,
side.
yeah. But then it becomes 22, which is 2 2s.
Oh, so Luke's becomes 44.
So you're 22, 44.
In that case, I'm giving it 5.5. Double becomes 11. I think, right?
No.
No? But it's 10. And then with
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's like, well, that's not that bad.
Then I'm doing 11 if we're doing this game.
What are we, some kind of all of us?
So you're going to 22?
Yes, that's what I wanted originally, but you're
What are
making
we,
me
some
do
kind
this.
of Shark Tale?
Oh,
So
no.
the thing about this is that if I give it 100, it becomes 200,
Oh my
which
well.
I think I might.
What are we, some kind of The Pursuit of Happiness?
There's no happiness here.
So I think the motorcycle fighting, I really enjoyed that.
What are we, some kind of the Legend of Bagger Vance? What are we, some kind of the King Richard? That movie hasn't even come out yet.
Wait, King Richard?
Yeah, I don't know. What?
We should do a future review on it.
What are we, some kind of Audi Presents Lunch Break? Okay, did you give it a 200?
No.
What did you give it?
I haven't given it anything yet.
Oh.
Trying to decide. I'm mulling over the pros and cons.
What are we, some kind of Aladdin?
11 and
I already
22.
did that one.
You're distracting me.
Now he's repeating himself like Gemini
What are we,
Man.
some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh, no.
You know, I think
Title drop.
mostly for the cry, I'm going to give it a 33, which becomes a 66.
Okay.
All right, so Billy gave it 11, technically. I gave it a 66, and Luke gave it a 22, because we doubled all our base scores. And so now let's see who won, or something.
Okay.
Who won,
So, the critics gave Gemini Man a 26%, and the audience gave it an 83%. So, I think the critics won this time. They're in the VIP with the cloned theater goers who fought.
I'm really disappointed in the audience.
Yes,
I'll just say
it feels
that.
a little too high. Although maybe technically they just gave it like a 41.5. And
Oh, probably they just doubled.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this. Once
Yeah.
you review it, everything
It
just
gets
doubles.
It's the
You actually
law.
have to pay double to get in the theater.
I see. Oh, that's terrible. It's
Yeah,
like
it
a
was a racket.
$16
And then you got to
tickets.
see the movie twice, actually.
Oh, man. That's another con. You have to see it
This
twice.
deal's getting worse all the time.
All right.
Okay, they've lost it, folks.
What are we? Some kind of... That's the wrong thing. What are we? Some kind of concussion? What are we? Some kind of winner's tale?
You're acting like you got a concussion.
What do we have to do at this point?
We just
Well,
said-
I'm in the box of shame.
Yes.
Thanks to my
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And the critics are VIPs, and Griffin Mulligan, student, and Jude Driscoll, student, are VIPs. We hope they're not waging eternal war. We hope they are worshiping at the altar of this movie instead in harmony. To all, a good night. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, yeah. And, you can email us at muchreviewan.com@gmail.
What?
Well, I guess I'm writing it in the description. If you want to email us or get in contact with us, just look in the description of the episode. I'm going to put it down there.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
gonna-
all our information's out
Yeah.
there.
We got a Patreon. It'd be great if you could give to that.
Do we have anything up on the Patreon?
We do have one bonus material.
Okay,
It's not related to movies. It is called the Tie Question. You'll have to pay to see what that's all about.
Or here, because,
To hear what that's all about, because it is an audio medium. I think that's it from us. I have been... What are we? Some kind of Club Oscar? What is that? Oh, is it a Shark Tale short?
Oh, yeah.
that's not
And my co-hosts have been Ali and Bad Boys.
Amen.
Amen.